Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I am doing another movie double bill. Yay! And I think I decided this time I am going to go with my 2 hours or less. There's other stuff in here. I have my legend in here. Some notes to myself. Make cards. I should make cards for this. But I still haven't totally figured out what I'm naming this. I think I usually name them Netflix double bills. How original. Or maybe double pick flicks. I haven't decided. Anyway. So I'm gonna go for the 2 hours or less, and that's the one. That is the one. It knew. It's like, pick me, pick me. What shall it be? Safe Haven. Seriously, oh man, I'm still under the general impression that I am going to read this book first because it was for when I did a book to film club in 2012, and I didn't. I had to close it down halfway through the year. This was one of the picks. Do I want to watch the movie and break the hope that I'll read it? I have it. I have it. It would be the first time if I decided not to do this. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. If I really like it, I can always read it afterwards. This one, it's based on a Nicholas Sparks um, novel, and he's got tons of. Man, I am not able to. I used to be able to get it so the picture was in the background. I don't know what magic that was. Anyway, dramas based on books. Oh, and it's Leslie Hallstrom as the director. I'm trying to remember what other films they've directed. Okay, anyway, so Safe Haven, it is based on Nicholas Sparks' novel. I have read some other Nicholas Sparks novels and seen a fair amount of the adaptations. I've seen Dear John, I've seen Nights in Rodanith, and at least one more. This one has a bit more of a mysterious feel to it. When a mysterious woman arrives in a small North Carolina town, she begins a new life but remains haunted by a terrifying secret. I think I know what the terrifying secret is from seeing the trailers and such. It stars Josh Duhamel, Red West, and Kobe Smulders. I think, considering this has a female protagonist, that the woman who's the mysterious woman's name should be first. I think that really should be the case. Anyway, all right, so the resistance is high on this one, but I'm just gonna watch it. I'm gonna eat my lunch. Got my nice little sandwich and my nice little vegetables here, and I'm just gonna watch it. 1 hour and 55 minutes. I will have watched Safe Haven, and I will be back to share my thoughts. Okay, I am back and I finished watching Safe Haven, and I'm actually really glad that I stuck with this one and decided to read it, because I think I wouldn't have actively chosen it because I would have got stuck in the whole, oh, I should probably read the book first, and I have the book and I meant to read it and all the history of that. And in all reality, like, it's fine just to jump right in, and there's lots of Nicholas Sparks novels, so if I feel like I want to read a Nicholas Sparks novel, there's lots that I haven't read yet, and I'm sure more of them will be adapted, so I didn't have to hold on to this one so tightly. And I quite enjoyed this film. It did have some romantic suspense elements. There was definitely a sense of mystery and danger and certain things, which is a little unusual for Nicholas Sparks from the ones that I've read. There's one of the things I like about the books I've read and the films that are adapted is that they feel like they're about like real things that could happen, and this one a little less so. Not that it couldn't happen, but just, I mean, they feel like they're just about sort of normal people, and normal people who have had tragedy in their lives, who have had challenges in their lives, who, are generally good-natured people, and but maybe have had bumps on the road. And there's just something and about continuing to try and just, you know, enjoy or live or find something and continue that. Like, it's not so, like, it's weird because I think we don't actually get a lot of films that are sort of this ilk where they're like romantic dramas or romances. This one was kind of, I don't know exactly which of those two I would put it in, because it does have elements of suspense too. But we don't like dramas tend to be films that are about people in relationships, and like we get romantic comedies, but not a lot of romantic dramas. And so this one, it has that element plus the suspense. And I thought they told the story really well. I wasn't like sure what was going on, but I didn't feel confused, which is a great pace. It's a great a check, I think, for me. There's enough there to give you ideas, and but not so much that it's telecasting. So I really enjoyed it from that element. I still feel annoyed that the main characters, the actress that plays the main character, is not listed on the cast, and her name is Joanne. What is it? Julianne Howe. She was in Footloose, the newish Footloose, and she hasn't been in as many films, but still, and Josh Duhamel, like he was actually great. His performance in this was wonderful, but like Red West was like barely in it, and Kobe Smothers, I don't know her, so but also a little surprised. I don't know how if these are like auto generated or who gets to pick them, but I really think Julian Howe should have had her name first. And the director, he's also directed, Lasse Hallström has also directed Chocolat and Dear John, another Nicholas Sparks adaptation, and has a great sensitivity towards people in relationships and challenging sort of heartfelt scenarios. He also directed What's Eating Gilbert Grape, so those are all some pretty good films. So I think I'm looking at the time here, and I think I'm going to chance it and go for another longer one at the 2 hours or less. I don't know if I'll ever work up to the 2.5 hours or less, but I think today I'd like tucking in, and it's this one. It's this one. It just jumped right in my hand. What shall it be? Left Behind? Left Behind. Wow, that sounds happy. Oops, I left the controller over there. Okay. I always like trying to guess what the genre could be. It's like, is it drama? Is it horror? Where's the F? Left Behind. Oh, Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage. After millions of people on Earth, oops. After millions of people on Earth suddenly disappear, a pilot flying a plane struck at 30,000 feet must find a way to ensure the passengers' survival. Starring Nicolas Cage, Chad Michael Murray, and Cassie Thompson. Directed by Vic Armstrong. It's an action thriller and or action adventure film. I don't remember this at all. I will admit to, I pretty much, should I admit this? Maybe I should have not said anything. I have a lot of fun watching Nicolas Cage movies, and so anytime a new one pops up, and there's lots of them on Netflix, anytime one of them pops up, I put them on my list. So, Left Behind is one of, I don't know how many I still have yet to see, but there you go. I will be back to share my thoughts on Left Behind. 83% match. Oh, I should have thumbs it up Safe Haven. I will go back and do that afterwards. So, all right, see you in a bit for Left Behind. Okay, well, I made it through Left Behind, and I gotta say that was not easy, because I feel like I got a little duped on this one. It took me a while to catch on to what was going on in this film, and there are very few genres of film that I'm just, or subgenre, this would be a subgenre of film, that I'm just not really interested in, and this would be one of them because this is a religious thriller. And so it kind of has a vibe of a disaster movie, but it's really a message movie, and it's really clear about that eventually. I actually thought it might be against that. I thought, like, initially, I was like, wow, this is some back talking against some pretty, like, directly some back talking against religious stuff. And then as it went on, I was kind of like, oh, Oh, it's a message movie. So that was disappointing. I was distracted. I considered turning it off. I scrolled through Instagram a little bit while I was watching it because I didn't want to turn it off because I did want to see where it went. But it yeah, it really was a religious thriller and had a very strong message, very strong particular message. I didn't really I'm not the audience for this. I didn't really get much from it. And even when it started, I thought it was a really weird combination because there were some things about it that were quite good. Nicolas Cage in this is actually he's pretty good in that and pretty good in it. And Chad Michael Murray, who I actually don't know, I think it's from a TV show that I didn't watch, One Tree Hill. When I looked up his filmography, he was on that, but I don't know him. And then Cassie Thompson, who plays this character, who is Nicolas Cage's daughter. Um, I didn't know her from anything either, but Chad Michael Murray was actually quite good. But a lot of people weren't that great, and there was a lot of just sort of messy, just some scenes that were just like, what's going on here? Like it's just I understand what they're trying to get across in terms of some of the like not necessarily the message stuff, but some of the specifics visually. What they're trying to get across is a little complicated, but it's just sort of like it just felt a bit messy. But there were some really good scenes between particular people, between Cassie Thompson and Nicolas Cage. There was a couple of really good scenes between Cassie Thompson and Chad Michael Murphy, or sorry, Murray. There were a couple of really good scenes, but they kind of felt like, oh, we're sitting down and having a scene, like like it was kind of like its own entity within the film in and of itself. And then as it went on, some of the scenes were just kind of not great and just haphazard. And the music was I like when the music was my first cue or clue that something might be a bit off because it felt very much like a TV movie, and so I was like, okay, it's not what I thought this movie would be. And then the scene and the scenes and the scenes, and it's like, okay, and then like, oh. So anyway, it's I was surprised at how many religious thrillers there are out there. This one's actually based on a book, and there's another film also called Left Behind that I don't think is based on the same book, but I think is based on another book. So this is a theme that comes up in religious thrillers. Is even a I won't say exactly what there's a show that has this kind of that follows the same event idea kind of thing. But not for me. Not for me. But it's got me thinking about when is a good like how long should I give something before I DNF something? So funny, just to cross over the terms from book to film. Like that's what people say for books that did not finish. For a movie, usually if I'm more than 10 minutes in, I think before 10 minutes is fine. If you know in the first 10 minutes it's not for you, it's fine. But for the purposes of doing this kind of stuff, I kind of felt like, oh, do I want to turn it off and then come back and like pick another movie? Would that be awkward? But I also was curious enough to know if this was what I thought it was, and it ended up being what I thought it was. So it just kind of felt like I was just kind of waiting to be 100% sure, and then I was kind of like just waiting it out, which was not that pleasant, to be honest. So I didn't enjoy it. It definitely has an audience. I'm sure there's people out there that like religious thrillers, and don't mind the message element of it. For me, it really, really didn't sit well. And there's some other things that I was just like, yeah, no. Yeah, no, not okay with that, not okay with that, not okay with that. And some open-ended questions too about who was left behind and why. And some holes that didn't quite seem to fit. Although I'm not an expert on the subject. So anyway, a bit of a miss. I think it's actually the first one that was a miss. There was one other movie that I can't remember which one it was, but there was one other movie that I wasn't that super keen on. But this one was really like, okay, I need to come up with what feels good about deciding not to watch something because you know This I could have gone without seeing. This I could have gone without seeing. So hopefully better luck next time. We'll see what happens that time. Thank you so much for watching and sitting through me sitting through Left Behind. Both of the movies are based on books though, so there was a bit of a tie-in. There was a bit of a tie-in. It's amazing how that happens. All right, see you at the next movie. Hopefully it's a better one.